Welcome to the new YouTube channel. If you haven't already done it, hit the subscribe button to follow us all season long for updates and content. So happy that you're here. It's going to be a great year. Seattle looked good early on in this game, at least offensively. They were moving the ball down the field. It looked like Geno was playing another good game, and he was going to take them to the promised land. But Mike Tomlin and these Pittsburgh Steelers just find a way every single season. Near the end of the year, they find a way to get it done, to execute, to win these games. And he's done it again. His 17th straight season of not having a losing season, Mitchell. He is guaranteed another winning season for the 17th time out of 17. It's incredible, and I don't think it gets enough credit. I don't think it gets enough attention. It's how incredible that record is. He's doing it with now Mason Rudolph. He's done it with 3 different quarterbacks, Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, and now Mason Rudolph. And Mason Rudolph has done the best. He scored 30 points in consecutive games for the first time this year. I mean, he's starting to look like their guy, and people thought he was their guy after Ben left. But he's playing a good game. I mean, you gotta. There's a lot of questions, about what happened this game. For Seattle, DK Metcalf played good. Kenneth Walker looked kind of banged up throughout the game, but he still ran for 53 yards and a touchdown. Geno, 23 of 33 for 290 and a touchdown. But it just, defensively, they just couldn't get the stops when they needed them. They couldn't slow down this offense. Najee Harris seemed to be controlling the game. Jaylen Warren controlled the game. Najee Harris didn't get a ton of yards. I mean, 27 rushes for 22 yards. Jaylen Warren, on the other hand, 13 rushes for 75 yards, was doing a heck of a job. They found out if you throw the ball to George Pickens, it works out, and your offense is executing, and your offense scores points, and the ball moves down the field. Lo and behold, he was frustrated early in the season, and people were like, man, he's wrong. Like, he wants the ball, and it's as simple as throwing him the ball, and these guys aren't even trying to throw him the ball. He'd go games without targets or 1 or 2 targets, or the guys are throwing slant routes or dirting the ball right in front of him. And it's just like anybody would be frustrated. So they seem to be getting more and more dangerous as they go. Mason Rudolph is making those big plays, but it's a crushing loss for the Seahawks. It clinches a playoff spot for the Rams, which is huge. They've been playing good, and the Rams, again, they're going to play San Francisco at the end, in a meaningless game for San Francisco.
Yeah, and that's tough, Rich. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, the Steelers have found their guy, Mason Rudolph, giving these guys big opportunities. George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. We talked about it a number of times throughout the season. Kenny Pickett just didn't give his options outside the chances. Here he is, back-to-back games, doing his thing. George Pickens, monster numbers these last 2 games. Good for him. But the Seahawks, Rich, I mean, this was a had-to-have-it game. And now they're left waiting, praying to get bailed out by the NFC North for a second year in a row. And what they're going to have happen essentially is whoever wins tonight's game between the Packers and the Vikings is going to have to go and turn around and lose next week's game. And the Seahawks are going to have to win for them to have a prayer, Rich. And that they had everything in their own hand. They could control their own destiny. And Rich, playing in Seattle is not easy.
No,
this is a place teams go to die, right? And it just hasn't been that way. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I figured they would win this one easily, Rich, and then they go to Arizona and take care of business. They'd be a shoo-in for that 7th seed at minimum. And now they're left on a prayer